Peace. You Coolin with the Completist. I'm with my brother Terrell, man, and we about to give y'all some of the movie news. You know how we do it, man. Like me and my brother was talking about before we started the show. We was kind of just getting into just the fact that this year has been kind of a great year for movies, bro, and we have a lot of hot anticipation or anticipated films coming up. You know what I'm saying, in the near future, and it's real lit, man. It's real lit. What you think about it?
Yeah, man, we got some heat coming up for the rest of the year, man. Like we just got through talking about that Doom 2 gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
Um
that Doom about to be fire.
uh I'm gonna fuck with the Indiana Jones. The only shit that I ain't gonna fuck with until it hit digital is Flash. Fuck that. But anyway, but anyway, yeah, yeah, man.
I do think that I do kind of think that's kind of insane though. That you know what I'm saying, they support my man's, you know what I'm saying, to the death. It seemed
Like, dude,
like
I literally just got through watching a non-spoiler Flash review, man, and the shit was burning me up to my core. They was all talking about like, yeah, well, it's about mental health. I mean, like he has to heal. I was like, oh my god, white privilege, man.
man, listen, it's it's really insane, you know. But does it surprise me? Not really, because if you think about it, you know what I'm saying, a lot of this, um, a lot of this going on, when the Fantastic Beast movies came out, like the last one, wasn't some of this shit going on when that movie came out, or did it
Yeah, a
happen
lot
like?
of this, yeah, like a lot of his shit was going on for a period of years. But see, the thing about the Fantastic Beast, he wasn't like he was a side character. I'm saying Fantastic Beast, and then
Yeah,
of course you had the Johnny Depp shit overshadowed that. So, so Ezra it didn't matter. But like the fact that DC got all this drama going on, and now you got him headlining a DC movie. It's just, man, like, bruh, I'm just saying to myself, like, it's crazy. It's crazy how some people begin chance after chance after chance and shit, and then one person fuck up. Well, actually, we don't even know if he fucked up or not, and then everybody all like fire him. Like, bruh, it's crazy.
man. Well, it's crazy because when you think about people like Jonathan Majors and his situation that he got going on right now, you I mean, what do you do? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you want to keep investing in somebody, especially because of the potential that they can give your brand or your product. You know what I'm saying? And you want to still do that, but then again, the people, you know what I'm saying, the people that's buying the product, you know what I mean, if they are against you and just don't want anything to do with you, you know what I'm saying, that's fucking up the money, that's fucking up the bag, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying. And I
at the end of the day, it is a business, but still, like, they do that thing where even see that's why I said that even if he didn't do it, they probably might let him go anyway because when in the mind of a consumer or the person seeing the movie, that conversation always gonna be had like, oh, isn't that guy that did this or they say he did this? They always gonna
appreciate you,
be
bro.
thinking about that. You feel me? It's just like OJ got off. He allegedly didn't do it. But to this day, for 30 years, people still, every time people see OJ, they be like, did he really kill them people? Did he really, you know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
conversation is going to keep on going.
Yeah, and it don't really help nothing, especially, you know it don't help nothing, especially with OJ ass, man. His ass don't be he like to joke about the shit.
Yeah,
It's
he
like
be
so,
trolling.
yeah, like it's so weird. Like this nigga be like trolling the public. You know what I'm saying? Like it really perplexes me, but not my business. But either way, man, it's been like things like the Little Mermaid came out, And I honestly, like me and you had this conversation before about the Little Mermaid. I read the actual story. I love all the Disney Renaissance films. I love that era period. Um, the visuals is always gonna be A1, especially GOAT tier when it comes to 2D animation. But I never really fucked with the Little Mermaid. I never been a fan of it.
Mm,
Never, there was always pieces of the Little Mermaid that I loved. Like I loved Sebastian and I loved Ursula. I thought that those were the best characters in the film.
yeah.
And the same thing happened, what I'm saying, with this remake. Now, unlike the Lion King remake, which I hated, by the way, I hated that
I don't
remake.
fuck with that.
I didn't like it at all.
Nope.
And
Hell no.
but this Little Mermaid remake was it hit home. You know what I'm saying? It definitely was good. I really don't care about the race swap, as people will call it, but I definitely can understand the marketing behind it and just the overall, just trying to have representation on film. Disney has been real good about diversity the last 2-3 years. They've been putting everybody on in they shit. You know what I'm saying? They've been making films for every type of culture. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been on one. But this film, it was the visuals, man. The visuals, and listen, I don't know what's been going on, man, but animation, these Western animation visuals been going crazy,
Taking off. Hell yeah.
man, and they've been going crazy.
Yeah.
Like just with this Spider Verse, this Across the Spider Verse shit alone, I'm not even gonna go into that. But you got shit like Avatar, you know what I'm saying? Which you can say it was a Western production, but it really was like a affiliated film of all different types, all different, all over the world for real. But shit like Avatar, you know what I'm saying? Any Disney animation that you could really think of
Mm.
that came out, shit, even Pixar has been shitting, Illumination has been shitting, like every type of animation that you can think of, or really any film, even when you think of shit like Everything Everywhere All at Once, you know what I mean? The visuals for that was great too, especially when they added the animated versions or the animated parts of the film.
Yeah.
In the editing and transitioning and all that. That shit is top tier. You know what I'm saying? That is something that's peak shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to appreciate shit like this, in my
Facts.
opinion.
Facts. Yeah. Western animation, Western animation and visual effects really has stepped it the fuck up though, because it's like for a while, like up until I'm gonna say up until like the late 2000s, Eastern animation was just shitting on everybody, like
Hmm.
Japanese, Korean production,
Yeah.
and truth be told, like I think yeah, you might know this. Truth be told, like a lot of these back in the day, 90s and early 2000s, a lot of American shows outsourced their animation to
Yeah.
Japanese, Korean studios, like
Hmm.
Futurama. Futurama
Yeah.
shipped they shit off to Korea. It used to take them like 6 months to make like one episode or some crazy shit like that.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah.
Even Afro Samurai, you know what I'm saying? Afro
Yeah,
Samurai was another one that America outsourced to Japan. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Man.
Do you
Afro Samurai is GOAT tier shit.
you consider Boondocks an anime?
I like
I
way
don't know
big.
how to think because it's like it's created by the American writer, American animator, but it's like, is this fall under anime or what? Like,
I like way have been wanting to be asked. I wanted to be asked that question for a long time, but I do feel like it really depends on how you look at it. It depends on the person's perspective. Because the Boondocks is a Western animation. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Like even though it was, you know what I'm saying, outsourced and mainly done by the Japanese, you know what I'm saying, editing wise and animated wise, it wasn't shown over there. You feel what I'm saying? Like it wasn't shown over there. It was just shown here.
Mm-hmm.
And really it wasn't shown all it was shown at a specific time. You know what I'm saying? It's not a show that was shown that was made sure that everybody watched it. You feel what I'm saying? It didn't
Well,
have that Simpson or King of the Hill effect.
prime
You
time
feel what I'm
slot.
saying? Yeah, hell no. It didn't have that at all. They played that shit on Adult Swim after midnight.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
11,
saying?
11, 12 o'clock at night and shit.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like G4 TV and shit like that. Like they didn't really play Spike TV and shit like that. They really didn't play it everywhere. So I would consider it, I still would consider it Western animation simply because it was created for Western society. It wasn't created with the mind that it was going to be an anime. It was created with the mind, this is a Western animation and we're about to do what we can with this bitch. And they didn't even do it in different languages until it took off popping, you know what I'm saying, like 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't even get, multiple, subtitles until like recent.
And also, you come to think about it, a lot of that stuff in the Boondocks, like it's a lot of jokes in the Boondocks that only black people is gonna understand anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like Japanese gonna be looking like, what the fuck? Like, where they? Yeah, only black people know about shit like the itis and shit like that. Like, so
Yeah, like
so
it was black culture written all throughout. It was just American culture in general.
yeah,
White people
Americans.
here,
Yeah,
white people will understand everything that's going on in that show way more than anybody else would. You
exactly.
feel what I'm saying? So because it was based on American culture, and even though American culture may be young in comparison to others, it is still a culture. It's something that has a history behind it, a history that needs to be spoken of and, dissected. And the show did that very well. It showed both perspectives. It really not just both, it showed all three. It showed the perspective of white, perspective of black, and the perspective of the in between, the fence
Yeah,
riders.
yeah,
And that is,
and the
and
codes.
that, yeah, exactly. It showed the perspective of everybody, and that's something that everybody can appreciate because that means that the show is honest
Yeah.
and very truthful, and that's something you gotta appreciate. It will. I don't think we will ever see a show like that again.
Yeah, because yeah, I know I didn't say this like last couple years on Facebook. They was trying to revive it. The revival was supposed to come in like 2020. Me personally, I don't think that shit coming back because they've been talking shit
I mean,
about the
unless it's just gonna
revival.
be a cash grab.
Huh?
Unless it's gonna be a cash grab, because I kind of feel the same way about Rick and Morty. Like if the original, like the creator ain't gonna be a part of it. I'm sorry, I really don't
Yeah,
want to watch it if
I don't
it's
want
not
it.
gonna be.
Exactly.
Because it's gonna devastate me so much if I see something shitty. You feel what I'm saying? And Rick and Morty don't give off shitty. That's not what they gave us the last,
10
5
years.
seasons. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's not, they ain't give us, shitty. So if I watch a new one and it's giving off shitty, I'm gonna be upset.
It's like I ain't fucking with South Park if Trey and Matt not there. You feel me? I ain't gonna fuck with
Yeah,
South Park. Yeah, so yeah.
exactly. I feel it 100%. Like the thing about films today, and I had made a podcast episode yesterday about it. Um, Basically about how films have evolved. Excuse me, films have evolved, and when I say films have evolved, when you think about how pure films were, like in the 1930s and 40s,
Yeah.
like even animations were made in the 30s and 40s that we still watch today. Um, and like shit like Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes, you know what I'm saying? Fucking Mickey Mouse and all that shit. Popeye. We still watch all that.
Hmm.
And the thing about today, I was saying that people will say things like every generation always says that something is shitty about the upcoming generation. You feel what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
even we guilty of this. Like, at the same time, when we look at everything from an artistic standpoint, and how everything evolves. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to art and when it comes to just the livelihood of humans, period. You
Mm-hmm.
have to, we got to all understand that and we need to adapt. If you starting to feel that way, that means you got to adapt. Don't mean you got to conform. You know what I'm saying? And all the way turn yourself into somebody of this generation. You know what I'm saying? You always got to be able to filter out the good from the bad.
Thanks.
You know, because everything isn't good. But you get my point. You
Yeah, I
know,
agree
you
with
have
that.
to. Yeah, filmmakers are gonna do what they gonna do. They gonna try to add diversity. They gonna try to do things that are different that haven't been done before. Like people already complain enough about motherfuckers saying there ain't no originality. So imagine trying to be able to create something new and people saying that is shitty also, especially since it hasn't been done. You know what I'm saying? Now something that's shitty is shitty. But if you know what I'm saying, some people just don't want to give in to the changes of the world. And it's very apparent. It's very telling too.
Yeah, it's like some filmmakers, like I mean, like they old heads though, so I feel like they kind of like stuck in their ways at this point. Like just like
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg. Like I said on Facebook, man,
Hmm.
like once upon a time in the 70s and 80s, they old heads was hating on them. You feel me?
Exactly.
So it's like
Saying that they was
everybody.
nothing but, I remember seeing one shit. They said that these niggas was like very violent or like have like trauma or some shit. It was like something very crazy, like the critics were saying. I was like, see, that's crazy as fuck. Like they were saying the same shit about y'all. You know what I'm saying? And y'all movies that ended up being classics, but y'all
Yeah.
shitting on other shit that's about to be classic. See, that's exactly my point.
But see, like, but the one thing about the number one thing that changed about film, not even in the industry, is the fucking audience. The audience has
Hmm.
changed because, like, and I feel
Yeah.
like the reason, like, niggas like you and me, you know, we think the same pretty much when it comes to movies. Like, we know when shit classic, you know what I'm saying? But like a lot of other people, when it comes to movies, they're not gonna have too much of the foresight to see, like, you know, like this is a moment in time, and it's gonna take a few years for for people to understand that this shit gonna be a classic one day. You know what I'm saying? Back
Yeah.
then, people had that, like the thing. The thing was critically panned. They dogged the thing. They used to say like, "Oh, this is just some gore porn, horror porn. This is disgusting." And literally 10 years later, it became a fucking cult classic and considered one of the greatest, the crowning achievement of horror. I'm trying to tell
Hmm.
people, it's like, yeah, niggas diss it in the moment, but after a while, it's gonna take some years. It's gonna become a classic.
Yeah, man. It's that's how it worked, you know,
The Empire
like it's
Strikes
just so
Back.
weird.
The Empire
Go
Strikes
ahead.
Back was dissed. The Empire Strikes Back was considered. It wasn't bad, but people didn't care about it. And now that's also considered one of the greatest movies of all time.
Man, listen, this is just it's like like what me and you had talked about before, bro. There have been classics, bro, that in theaters. You know what I'm saying? Like classics that were shitted on critically. You know what I'm saying? That ended up becoming classics amongst the
Yeah,
masses. And it's weird to me because the nation, society in general, you know what I'm saying, have become real sensitive and real insensitive at the same time. It's so weird. Like they can watch the most the goriest shit that you can watch today. They can watch it. But when it comes to things like pronouns, people get real sensitive about it. It's
oh
weird.
yeah.
It's like I was saying when it comes to horror, we be seeing children die now. We
Don't
see children die.
and don't flinch.
The motherfuckers don't right. Motherfuckers just be watching that shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers don't have nothing to say about it, but got something to say about some damn wokeness and diversity. Are you kidding me?
It's like Breaking Bad, spoilers if you haven't seen this episode of Breaking Bad. One of the wildest episodes of Breaking Bad was when they robbed that train full of them chemicals and shit. So then there was a little boy riding on a dirt bike. So then they was done robbing the train. So then Jesse Walt and Todd was all looking around like, oh yeah, well we did it. Ain't nobody see us, right? So then that same little boy on a dirt bike watched the whole thing, and they was all staring at each other. Nigga Todd popped him, and threw him in the fucking acid, dissolved his body.
Man,
No
dog.
outrage, no outrage.
None. Like it's insane, bro. Like I just want to understand, you know, the general, you know what I'm saying, human psyche, bro, because I really don't understand it. People get way more offended by the weirdest shit than shit that they should get offended by. You know what I mean? Either way, we got shit like I got to see that Boogeyman that just came out. I got to watch that. You know, because you know me, I fuck with horror, man. That's one thing I love me a horror movie. Evil Dead Rises was a good movie.
Yeah, I heard that was good.
Yeah, it was good. The ending, the third act could have been better, but I still appreciated the goriness and, you know, just the horror of the movie. You know, you gotta appreciate horror, man. Because like I tell motherfuckers, man, especially when it comes to horror isn't supposed to make sense. Horror evil isn't supposed to make sense.
But see,
that's why a lot of them end. That's why a lot of them end on a cliffhanger.
And see, I fuck with horror. I don't care about the slashers as much, but like horror.
Yeah, that shit's cool. It's alright.
Yeah. I don't fuck with it, but horror. The reason why I like the horror genre now, because a lot of these horror directors and horror producers, what happens is they produce these films on a low budget. They be creative as fuck. Then they make a horror movie for like fucking like 10 million or less, and then turn that shit into 100 million.
Genius. Man, listen. I thought that the movie Megan was gonna be trash, but I was surprised. It was a good movie.
Megan was dope.
Man, no, like, man, like for real, Amar. I'm glad that you commented, because yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some horror movies are dumb. They be having some bad writing for some of these horror movies. I ain't even gonna cap. There be some bad writing, like the movie the Reading or whatever it's called with Monique in it. You remember that movie?
Yeah, I remember that.
like that movie, Monique. That movie had the potential to be actually good, but the acting was terrible. The writing was terrible. But I actually, you know what I'm saying, I dug the concept. I dug the acting by Monique too. She actually sold me on the role that she played in that movie. But overall, the movie just wasn't good. You feel what I'm saying? But if they like found good writers for these horror movies, bro, they can make some classics, man. Like they came out with some horror shit already that we already think is fire. That Black Phone was a good movie. I thought it was a good movie. And one thing about horror, my favorite thing about horror, I like the psychological, you know what I'm saying, paranormal thrillers, you know what I'm saying, because that be the shit, you know what I'm saying, that you can make sense of, and sometimes it be the shit that you can't make sense of, because that is just evil. Drag Me to Hell, prime example, classic movie. Nigga, she was bound to die. She was bound to get ended.
Yeah,
there was nothing she could do. Like that's real horror. Yeah, that was real horror. You feel me?
Like another thing, like to go back to the thing, what made the thing so genius was the thing. The thing wasn't necessarily too much about the monster itself, but how humanity react. You see how crazy, how paranoid them niggas got. When you get paranoid like that, they all implode on themselves. They all turn on themselves.
And humans is, you got the thing. Another thing is too, because me and you talked about this when we was talking about the video game The Last of Us. One thing about horror, and really just about storytelling in general, it's not, you don't have to, it's not just about creating the main characters. Main characters are a big factor. but you have to be able to create the world around the character. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? And the world around the character normally is fucked up. Whether you want it to be modernized or fictionalized setting, it's you have to make sure that the humans in the world are implemented some type of way. You
Yeah.
feel what I'm saying? Feel what I'm saying? Because it's like Last of Us. It really wasn't about the the clickers and you know what I'm saying the infected.
Running.
That wasn't they really wasn't the problem. The problem was the humans.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? Like the slavery and you know what I'm saying the just overall anarchists and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like just those were the problems. Yeah, the infected was a big problem because it was a global, you know what I'm saying, problem. But the humans, man, they still alive and still fucking shit up.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You
see,
feel?
and that's humanity. Like certain situations bring out
Yo,
worst. Certain situations bring out the worst of humanity, man. And
yeah.
like it just, I mean, it goes all the way back to the Holocaust and slavery. Like those
Mm-hmm.
were like the two, well, two of the three single worst acts in the history of humanity.
Yeah. And that's well, and you have to build stories around that because at the end of the day, you can't forget that shit. As much as people want to try to make civilization forget about it, you ain't about to forget about it.
You know,
That's why I'm on both sides when it comes to films being made about slavery. Because yeah, I don't really want to see it. It's trauma porn in a way, but then again, you have to be able like my sons need to know about slavery. They need to know about everything about it. Like everything about it. You can't sugarcoat history because when you sugarcoat history, then motherfuckers start making up shit in their mind. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
See,
You have to tell it how it is.
and that's what happened when I was a kid. Like they used to tell us all the slaves did was just walk across Africa.
Man,
Shit,
listen.
they told
Man,
us that
listen.
in school.
I heard all type of shit from teachers when I was growing up. That's why I'm kind of glad that this generation, has the technology and the resources that they have because this generation definitely is. I mean, you can say it's partly because of us, but they have they have the answers at their fingertips. They already rebellious, you know what I'm saying, and how the old ways, you know what I'm saying, of things like discipline, you know what I mean, and religion and politics. So they're gonna already, you know what I'm saying, try to get history down. And that's one thing about this generation that's better than the last. They definitely not sugarcoating shit when it comes to history. And
Yeah,
you can't tell nobody just anything. And that's what you gotta respect about it. And that's what it should be about history. You can't diminish somebody's, you know what I'm saying, belief or understanding about what they ancestors went through. Like, and that's what a lot of films tried to do, and a lot of books tried to do. But that's why I'm saying. That's why I'm glad I'm on both sides when it comes to the slavery and just civil war and stuff like that of black people and their horrors and demises. But at the same time, I love it when it's a horror movie or a horror show, a horror concept. You know why? Every time we get some sort of revenge.
yeah,
Prime example, Lovecraft Country.
correct.
Lovecraft Country.
Yeah,
Classic.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It shows you the evils that black people went through in history, but it
yeah,
was always some comeuppance, and that's what I like in my goddamn storytelling. You know what I'm saying? You got to have both, and and the thing about horror too is that they show the size of black people. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't very appealing. You know what I'm saying in history as well. And that's what I love about art, man. It's expressive. You got to show both sides of the board, both sides of the coin,
mm,
and it's all about truth, man. It's all about truth, and it's all about story. You
yeah,
got to see things in different ways, different perspectives, and like I wouldn't even, me, I don't really fuck with that Christian shit no more. Nothing like that. I really wasn't
yeah. You don't fuck
like
with the what? You
the
broke
Christian
up.
shit.
Oh,
the Christian shit. You feel what I'm saying? I don't really fuck with the Christian shit like that, especially in the last decade. But you know me, I love me a good story. I love me a good, you know what I'm saying, movie. There still hasn't been no church movie like The Preacher's Wife. There has not been a church movie that I've seen like it since.
oh no,
And
you gotta check out,
Fighting
bro.
Temptation was cool, but
You gotta check out Come Sunday on Netflix, bro. Like that was a different church movie. I thought I told you about that. Like,
Come
man,
Sunday.
it's called
I
Come
saw that
Sunday.
shit on HBO Max. That shit with the with the one woman, the two black the dude that played T'Challa uncle. He was a preacher. You know what I'm talking about? Or played
Yeah,
Killmonger's dad.
yeah.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking
he was
about.
that preacher. Yeah, I watched that little show. It was funny.
Yeah, man. Like Come
Or a
Sunday was
movie, whatever it was.
that Come Sunday was crazy, man. Like it was about a preacher that basically put his career on the line for telling the truth about Christianity and like it had like Keith in it. Like, man, bro, that shit was crazy, bro.
Yeah, I might have to check that out. I'm gonna check that out tonight. Yeah, man, exactly. Honk for Jesus. That's the name of it.
Jesus.
That shit was funny. Like the movies like that, it shows you the truth about just anybody who has a congregation. Sometimes there are people that do it right. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's people that do it right, get the money to the bank, get the money to the church. You know what I'm saying? Don't do nothing crazy, don't have no scandals. And then there's the other motherfuckers who got scandals coming left and right.
Yeah. And
Like
see,
Greenleaf, prime example. Anybody who watched that show.
that's exactly what I mean by humanity, man. It's like, one of the greatest hustles ever pulled was Christianity, especially like in like the black community. That's one of the
Yeah.
greatest hustles ever pulled.
Abrahamic religion. Yeah, Abraham religion in general. Definitely. Definitely.
It's
But
like,
there's
man,
two sides of every coin, though, man. Some people say that brought us, you know what I'm saying, got us our liberation too. John
yeah,
Henry
that too.
Clark. John Henry Clark said it best. He said the Bible could be our liberation, or it can
Be damnation.
be our damnation. You know what I'm saying? You know, it could be our demise. It just depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
And black people are the type of people that resource. So, you know what I'm saying? It don't really matter how down and out we are, we gonna resource. And Christianity was a resource. And I like how they use that in like Book of Eli. Book of Eli, prime example. My man's Denzel Washington, you know what I'm saying, was walking around with the Bible, you know what I'm saying, and you understand that the world was destroyed by nuclear war. But the antagonist is trying to find a Bible so bad, but they destroyed all of them before the war had started, supposedly. And he's trying to find the Bible because he wants to be able to have complete control over people and create a new world. Because he understood that stories they can influence the sheep to do some shit. And this brings the evil side of religion, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a bunch of cult people. There's people that be committing sacrifices in the name of religion. There's people that are criminals and be killing people in the name of religion. And that's why I like the concept that they have been showing, especially in this generation, adding the evils of religion. You know what I'm saying? Just like the movie, have you seen Devil's Conspiracy yet?
Mm. No, let me write that joint down. Devil's
Yeah,
Conspiracy.
man. Yep, the Devil Conspiracy is on Hulu. Man, movie was fire. You know what I'm saying? It showed you both sides. It showed you the actual perspective of Lucifer, but it also showed you the evil of what humans will do to be able to obtain or get something done in the name of whichever theological character. That
Yeah.
for real, they really do though. Amar, hold on. For real, it is a competition, my nigga. You know how it is, bro. But yeah, I mean, Christian movies have to be hard to make, folks. Be ready to snap. It do,
Yeah,
and that's one. It do.
that's why niggas don't be. That's why it be polarizing when niggas be making Christian movies, man, because like that shit can go left. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
especially I look. I grew up in an old school Southern Baptist. Well, my mother's side of the family. I grew up in an old school Southern Baptist Christian home, bro. I seen firsthand how crazy that shit can get. Like they think everything the devil, like everything evil out here.
Man,
You
listen,
feel me?
you have some very devout Christians, and I even just want to talk about Christians and make this a Christian thing, but just devout religious people in general, and they add these characters, these people, because if you think about in history, there have been a bunch of serial killers and mass murderers, you know what I'm saying, that's killed in the name of some sort of
Yeah,
religion or some sort of God.
yeah. The suicide
And video,
bomber.
exactly, man. Like
God,
right, like so many people. Jim Jones, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Even though he was a supposed fraud, he did all that in the name of his God,
yeah,
and people believed him until the very end.
yeah. Follow that nigga
And
right to the gates of hell.
yeah, and this is crazy because this is crazy because video games add this type of thing too. You know what I'm saying? Like L.A. Noire, they had it big time in that game. They had it in Mafia 3. Any horror game you could think of. Shit. What games I could think of? Evil Within. Um, shit. Anyone, even the Plague Tale. You know what I'm saying? A Plague Tale had a little cult following in it too. You know what I'm saying? They had like a little. You know what I'm saying? They showing the evil side of humanity. You know what I'm saying? To try to sacrifice people in the name of whatever god they're trying to worship.
Mhm.
But that's my thing about horror, though, man. Horror is it has a bunch of different sub genres in horror. Like you have your slasher films, you have your paranormal films, you have your AI, like artificial intelligent films. You know what I'm saying? Or when I mean, I guess you can consider that paranormal when a ghost takes over a doll or some shit like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's
That's
paranormal.
that's paranormal. Then you have your sci-fi horrors where there's aliens. You got your um you got your religious horrors like the exorcism, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that. There's all different types of horrors, you know what I'm saying? And one thing about horrors today, slashers have been lightweight being shitty, but I've been enjoying Chucky a lot. And Scream actually wasn't bad. Like that was actually not bad. But they for some reason just cannot get Mike Myers right. They can't get Texas Chainsaw Massacre right.
Jason.
They can't get Jason right. I don't know what is going on with these legends, bro. Like the last good Jason movie I think they made was the Rob Zombie one. You know what I'm
But you,
saying?
but
Like,
you know what? You know what? Part of me feel like Jason and Michael Myers and kind of like fell off a little bit is because you got to think about it. We in a social media era. It's like niggas getting chased around by a killer. All you gotta do is be like, "Hey, we out here." You feel me?
yeah, man.
Get on the phone, and you know, back in the
Man,
'80s,
listen.
they ain't had that shit, so they was just out here lost. And you get killed, you get killed. You know.
It's kind of like the cryptic horror films have been the ones that's been taking them the lead as of late.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
because if you think about shit like Antler or fucking even Doctor Sleep, that shit was cryptic as fuck for real.
yeah,
Like it was like it's just different, man. Like you got to know what genres you like. Even zombie shit ain't really supposed to scare you for real. I mean, unless it's gonna be Dawn of the Dead esque, which it hasn't done in years.
yeah,
Um, I really like the more ghostly, paranormal, cryptic stuff though. That's been the best stuff so far for me, especially in horror.
yeah. The zombie shit. The zombie shit ain't really that. zombie shit kind of got played out in a way, and even with The Last of Us, like we said, like that ain't even about the damn zombies for real. So yeah,
Yeah, it don't even be about the zombies. It's always about the humans.
yeah,
You know, that's why I say that I would rather, when it comes to evil and when it comes to horror movies are supposed to be evil. Like, they're supposed to show us evil. That's what a horror movie is supposed to be. Now, it's not. That's why if I see any horror movie that says PG-13 on it, I automatically turn it away.
yeah,
Because that's not. Listen, I understand you trying to show teenagers and kids, you know what I'm saying, some evil and shit like that, but give us adults some shit. Like My Soul to Take, that was a evil movie.
yeah,
You feel what I'm saying? Like, just knowing that somebody is doing some shit because they have a mental disorder or a mental disease or possessed, you know what I'm saying, or has some type of motive behind it, you know what I'm saying, whether or not, because a lot of evil don't have no reasoning. And that is why I fuck with certain movies, you know what I'm saying, horror movies. Like even Demon Knight, Tales of the Crypt, Demon Knight, you know what I'm saying? All them people died for no reason. You
fact.
feel what I'm saying? Like, a classic movie. Everybody died for no reason. Just because a motherfucker wanted to come in and get some sleep. You know what I'm saying? And hide from a demon that's chasing his ass. Like he just a protector. But all these people just died for no reason. That's just how horror works. It's supposed to be evil. You know what I'm saying? It's not supposed to have no reason. You know what I mean? But shit like Fast and the Furious is trash. Let's get on that. Let's get on this shit, please. Before we get out of here, man. Let's get on this shit, please.
Hey man, like I
I
said,
heard you. Didn't you type something? Hold on. Didn't you type something about how they trying to be more serious or trying to like do something crazy in the last two movies or something?
no,
What did they say?
like no, I was saying that like if Paul Walker was still alive, they would have went the Civil War angle where like him and Dom ended up started beefing and shit,
Uh
and
huh.
I felt like that would ended up being a lot better than what we fucking got because these niggas ain't got no character development. They ain't got no fucking charisma, no personality, man. All this nigga Dom do is fucking grunt around family wearing crispy white tees and drive a Dodge Charger. It's
And
like, bro,
beaters,
yeah, yeah. Hey, I meant to type this on Facebook. This nigga Dom dead ass got married in a white beater. Like,
man.
that nigga
That
had a
nigga be
beater.
tripping.
Like,
That
who
nigga
get
Vin
married?
Diesel.
That nigga had
Who
a
is
that nigga had white cargo pants and a white beater. Like, bro, what?
whoever is in charge of the wardrobe for these movies? Trash.
And then what make it so funny is that nigga be having a white tee. He get into like 8 car accidents, step out, white tee still crispy. Like nigga, what
Man,
the
listen, nigga,
fuck?
I saw that damn video of them talking about this nigga Don Toretto having superpowers and shit. I'm like, oh my god, this shit is
Like,
so
dude,
terrible.
and that's what I'm saying. If Paul Walker was still alive, they would have not went that route where Dom damn near superhero adjacent. If Paul Walker still, they would have not have done that. They doing this shit now where they doing this bullshit now where Dom gotta be the center of attention. Dom gotta be damn near the hero. Like, dude, I watched Fast X, dude. This nigga Dom dead ass got into like 5 car accidents, and he stopped the bomb with the car from exploding, and then the bomb exploded in the water, and then it blew his car back, and his car smacked the wall like 20 feet in the air, and then dropped down on the ground and kept on going. Like, get the fuck out of here with that.
Terrible, bro. It's terrible. It's like they could have gave us, but it's not even like that. It's like the all around race and culture kind of died, even in
Racing
video
culture been dead.
games.
Cause see, I'm glad you brought that up. Part of the reason why Fast and Furious was so hot back in the early to mid 2000s, because we was playing Midnight Club and all that
Yep,
shit. Need for
yep,
Speed, that shit was hot back then.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
so
Even Gran Turismo, you know what I'm
Gran
saying?
Turismo,
Midway, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? All them car
San
games is hard.
Francisco Rush 2049, all that shit. That was
Mm-hmm.
hot back then. But racing games been died like early
I don't
20.
know. Ever since Burnout got popular, that's when that shit died for real.
Yeah, racing. Right. Niggas don't fuck with racing game. Because even back in the day, I remember getting the very first PlayStation. Even back in the day, one of the first games they put out for PlayStation was Gran Turismo.
Yeah, it was Gran
Racing
Turismo.
games, period. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that shit just not hot no more, man.
They coming out with that movie though. I'm gonna definitely go see that because I went to go see the Need for Speed movie, which was kind of a disappointment.
Yeah.
But it was better. It was the best racing shit that we ain't got in a while. So and we only get shit like Death Race, you know what I'm saying? And then that shit died after the first movie. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it was like we ain't had no real good racing content from movies or video games. I mean, Netflix tried to do even the little Netflix animated series for Fast and Furious. They don't even be racing on that shit. They be doing little missions and shit. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, man.
Like it's like dead. Racing culture died, and I
And then
don't
like
know.
with the Fast and Furious now, they still be trying to throw in. Can you peep how they still try to throw in like a little race in the middle of the movie? A
Hmm.
race for no reason.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
right, right. Just a
yeah.
random ass race.
Random
Yeah.
ass race. Everybody in Brazil kicking in and shit, and then when they pull up the race, like they don't have no point to it either. Half of the time.
Me personally though, this is probably just my nostalgia for the topic speaking, but I honestly need some more BMX, you know what I'm saying? Skating, snowboarding,
Sports.
exports, you know what I'm saying, type movies, dog. I need me a Brink 2 or something. Give me something.
A
I
triple
need
A.
some right. I need something like that. You know what I'm saying? I need something like that. Give me a Johnny Tsunami remake or something. Like
Shit,
we
that nigga Tom Cruise doing that shit on a new Mission Impossible. That nigga wrote a
Man,
screen.
goddamn, you making me have to talk shit about this nigga on this show.
No, hey, Cruise do his own stunts, bro. Like it's so
Man,
crazy.
that's one
They
thing I
said he
can't give him.
they said that he did that stunt off the trailer where he jumped off the cliff. He did that stunt like 10, 11 times. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
No
insane.
no double either.
Yeah, that's insane. I ain't doing that shit once, man.
Right. You lucky you need to do that shit once. 10 times.
That
Oh
is one
hell
thing
no.
I can say. That is one thing I can say about Tom Cruise is that he definitely do his own stunts, but his stunts be whack. His fighting choreography be so terrible. I hate that shit.
He said his stunts be whack.
Man, I'm sorry, bro. Like that's probably the craziest stunt I think I've ever seen him do. But I don't give a fuck about no stunts. What your acting like, nigga? What you
Yeah.
trying to show? What you showing me on that screen? That's
But,
what
but
I
see,
care about.
that has became the selling point for Mission Impossible now. The stunts, you
Yeah,
know, what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like
I
it
can I
ain't
can
even
definitely see
acting
that.
no more.
I can see that. They bringing all the cast. They bringing everybody back. I'm happy about that.
Oh, Mission Impossible, yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
bringing everybody back. I'm happy about that.
Because Mission Impossible actually it died for a second because the first one was hot. Nobody cared about the second one. The third one went under the radar. Then he came back with Ghost Protocol. That's when everything took off again. No, Ghost Protocol was hard though. That
That's
was
that was the one with Henry Cavill in it, right?
no, that was Fallout. Fallout was
Fallout.
what
Oh, yeah,
came out
Fallout.
before this one coming up. But Ghost
Gotcha.
Protocol, that was the one where he was walking on the side of the Dubai building, and then Road Nation, that was the one where that nigga was hanging off the side of the plane. Like, bro, seriously, the plane
Man,
that was
dude,
really him. He did that shit. No
I don't
CGI.
know. My whole thing is like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing with these Mission Impossible films? Like, what are we doing? Like, are we like trying to make this like the new James Bond or something? Like, what is we doing? Like, are we trying to like add any type of character behind this where we could get a video game or
but,
something?
but
Like,
see the thing about Mission Impossible, I
all I
think
see is running and jumping. Man. That's all I see.
Mission Impossible put James Bond in a bad spot because a lot of people, I don't know, a lot of people peep this, but they changed James Bond whole little like thing to be like Mission Impossible, because this is what I'm saying. Back in the day, James Bond never had a team with him. It was always him doing the
Yeah,
mission,
it's
him and the
always him.
girl.
Yeah,
But with the Daniel Craig era, you peep how now it's him and a team. It's him,
yeah,
it's Money Penny, it's
yeah.
everybody else. You feel me? They got that. They was inspired by Mission Impossible now.
But I
James
mean
Bond
that. But
never
that's
had a team.
but that's the thing though that makes James Bond and the Daniel Craig James Bond films great to me, in my opinion, because they actually show my man's progression. If you watch all of the James Bond films from Sean Connery all the way to Brosnan and then to Daniel Craig, if you watch all of those movies, M has been telling this nigga James Bond since forever that nigga, you are selfish, you are reckless, you are, you know what I'm saying, out of your mind. You are lucky that we are not court martialing you and putting you under the jail. She had
Yeah,
been telling this nigga this shit his whole career.
yeah,
When he gets to the Daniel Craig era, though, the old James Bond, you can tell that my man has learned his lessons.
yeah,
He done lost everybody close to him or everybody that he got close to. Then he almost died almost every movie. You know what I'm saying? This Daniel Craig, this nigga almost died. And then at the end, at the last one he did. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
he only died because he gave himself he
because he
wanted to
let it,
die.
yeah, he
He let
wanted to
it
die.
happen.
He could have got away if he wanted to,
Yeah,
but
he
my
could have
man's
got away.
old now. My man's old now. He was like, I ain't got no more in me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I fucked all
Like,
those. Yeah, I got a
but
kid now.
but that's the thing though. Like that's why I'm saying like because there's people that have compared Mission Impossible to things like the Daniel Craig James Bond movies. Because how many do they got? They got like four, right? 4 or 5.
Daniel Craig's.
Yeah, Daniel like four of them, right?
He did Casino Royale, Quantum of
Quantum of Solace,
Skyfall. Yeah, he did 5.
5 of them are.
Skyfall, then Spectre, then No Time to
Yeah,
Die.
yeah, okay. So there is you can compare the Mission Impossible movies to the Daniel Craig movies for real because they're almost the same amount of films. And they basically all came out around the same time too. You know what I'm saying? So you can compare them, and that's why I would say that the Daniel Craig James Bond is better, just because of the progression alone. You can definitely see him trying to retire. Like you know what I'm saying? He tried to retire too, but just couldn't stay retired.
Yeah, because back in the day, James Bond never had character development like that. It was just do the mission.
Yeah, and
He
just
got personal
fuck
with
these
him.
women, and you know what I'm saying, do the mission,
Yeah,
and don't try to not have nobody come in the way of me completing the mission. Like that's all James Bond was about. He would get into some slippery situations, but you knew he was getting out of it. But the Daniel Craig ones, you ain't know.
yeah,
The shit in Casino Royale, my man was getting tortured.
yeah. That nigga, yeah, they had my nigga hooked up to that straw chair and shit, hit him in his balls with whatever the fuck that shit was.
That shit still creeps me out to this day.
Man,
It still fucks with me.
with my nigga Lachief.
Man, listen, that band was on it. He said, "Give me my money." You don't know who after me. I need that money. But my man was like, "Man, that nigga said you gonna die scratching my balls." That was funny. That was funny as fuck. But yeah, you can tell, and that's why I'm saying they always give you a good glimpse of James Bond's asshole side. You know what I'm saying? Like, he always divert back to his young self. You feel me? He ain't changed that much. He just getting older. You feel me? And that's I don't know. I do kind of go a little bit too hard on the Mission Impossibles though, and that's mainly because I don't like Tom Cruise. But Tom Cruise, but
Scientology gonna come get you.
I mean, listen, man. There are some Tom Cruise movies that I love though, and everybody know this because I've been saying it for a long time as well, man. Like Interview with a Vampire, Edge of Tomorrow, Oblivion,
super dope.
Oblivion. What's the name was I liked I didn't really like. I'm not even gonna say that I liked it, man. It was cool, but it was cheesy as hell. Top Gun, you know what I'm
The new Top
saying?
Gun.
That both of them cheesy as hell. You know
I
what I'm
fuck
saying?
with Top Gun. I fuck with.
I just I don't know. Like but it's probably just the concept for me. I really didn't like. I really don't. I fuck with aviation type movies, but there got to be a good story around them, man. Like you know what I'm saying. What are y'all? What are we fighting for here? Like you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like what are the stakes? You know what I'm saying. That's what I really care about. That's why I like Star Wars aviation fight scenes so much because the stakes normally are dire. You know what I'm saying.
yeah.
Um I don't know. I like Red Tails and stuff like that. Like I enjoy the action, I enjoy the thrill, but they aren't movies that I'm going to revisit. You know what I'm saying? They're not just stuff that I'm just going to go back to watch. You feel me? Probably to watch with my sons a couple times, but that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. Tom Cruise is one of those actors. He's definitely a method actor. Would you consider him a method actor?
I'm gonna be real with you. I consider him a method actor, like in the '90s. You know what I'm saying?
I
But
can
see,
see what you mean.
in the '90s, like the last time I think Tom Cruise really like did a role for real was was
Collateral Damage.
that was Arnold. Well, it was called, the one that called Collateral. Yeah,
Oh,
Collateral,
Collateral. Yeah, that's the name.
Collateral, and this movie called Valkyrie that came out in 2008.
Oh yeah, that was a good movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
enjoyed
see,
that
but
movie.
see, the one thing about that movie was about Tom Cruise. Man was playing a German that didn't have a German accent. Like,
It's
bro,
so crazy, right?
man
It's
was
so
German.
crazy.
Bro, where's your accent? You sound like you from New York, bro. Like, what?
Ah!
But
Man,
yeah,
listen. That they always, you know what I'm saying. The thing is, man, he a good actor, but he not a good actor. If that makes sense,
but
like
see,
he not.
Tom Cruise is the last. He's one of the last few old school movie stars, though. I'm talking about, like it don't
Yeah,
matter who he playing. Niggas gonna go see Tom Cruise. You feel me? He the
yeah,
last that type of movie star. Ain't really
yeah.
too many of them left.
I agree. Yeah, it's been, but it's just a crazy. But like I said in the beginning of the show, bro, it's a crazy year for movies, man. I can't wait for Doom 2. I can't wait for fucking Oppenheimer.
Oh,
My goodness,
I can't wait for Barbie. That Barbie gonna go hard. They gonna, my
man,
God,
Barbie about to go hard.
Barbie about to go, man.
Man, listen, I still gotta watch that Knights of the Zodiac movie. But I'm gonna watch that and do a review on it probably sometime this week as well. But yeah, man, shit. Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man, this has just been a crazy year, dog, for movies, man. Uh, and I don't know, man. That Batman shit don't really got me excited.
Wait, which Batman shit?
The Batman movie.
The new Batman movie?
Yeah.
Oh, of course it doesn't, but that doesn't here. That's neither here nor there. Of
It
course
don't
it
it don't it don't excite me, man. It just doesn't. Like, okay. The Batman movie that we got, he still didn't give us the fighting that we wanted. Let's be honest. He gave us he played a decent young Bruce. Um they showed us a lot of his progression, especially for year 1 and 2, or just for year 1. I mean, I think that he was in year 2, honestly. But they I don't know. They gave us a Riddler that wasn't funny, that
But I
wasn't
feel like
flamboyant.
that Riddler for that world that fits though. You feel me? I feel
I
like
just feel like
listen,
damn, he only
the
go
Riddler,
ahead.
that Riddler would be a fucking incel. He would be some white boy in his closet
Yeah.
up in his basement. You know what I'm saying? On the internet,
Yeah.
he would be that.
I feel it, man, but that is what I be talking about, the modernizing of Batman and fucking Gotham. They need to stop doing it. Stop modernizing everything. That it takes away the uniqueness of Gotham and all his
So
characters.
you saying that you rather would have the leotard Riddler with the top hat, right?
I don't. It don't have to be all like that. Like it don't have to be like the Jim Carrey version. You feel me? But yeah, show us something like the video game. You know what I'm saying? Arkham. You know what I'm saying? Arkham City. You know what I'm saying? Show us. Give us something. You know what I'm saying? That's creative. You feel me? And shows a little bit of modernization. You know what I mean? You can do both. You don't have to make everything just modern. Like his suit, Batman's suit wasn't even that dope. It just had the symbol and shit on it. He wore some tactical pants and
Oh,
some damn steel toe boots.
it's supposed to be a DIY look though. Like I
Man,
done
man, listen, man,
made that
listen,
shit myself.
man, listen. You gotta listen. He could at least, you know what I'm saying. He could have been look like Daredevil at least or something. He wasn't, you know what I'm saying. He ain't look. They ain't. They put effort into it, but I just feel like they could have been more creative with it. You know what I mean? Now I do look forward to seeing it. Kinda, I'm not excited for it, but I do kind of look forward to it because I do want to see the changes that they make in his progression. Because supposedly the movie is supposed to take place like a year or two after the little flooding incident. You know what I'm
But do
saying?
you think that they should take the Arkham video game route? You know how his armor was uh kind of
They
like
had the best. They had probably the best writing for Batman lore that outside of the comics that I've seen.
because his armor was kind of like mechanized, like it had some moving parts to it and shit, like Iron Man ish.
Yeah, I feel like the Arkham, yeah, the Arkham storyline was definitely dope. Even the Telltales, you know what I'm saying, the little Batman Telltales that they
Yeah,
had on
yeah.
Xbox back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
even those was dope. But I just feel like, yeah, they need to stop the modernizing of it. Like you need to mix it up because Batman's world is not normal. Like it's not normal. Like we need to stop acting like it's like modern day New York with a white boy that got money and can just do what he want. That's not what this is. You know what I'm saying? That's not what Gotham is. Even in Dark Knight, even in the Dark Knight trilogy, we saw some sun. What the hell? We saw some sunlight.
I
We
always
not
thought it was
supposed to
weird
see.
seeing
We
Batman in
not.
the daytime.
We not supposed to see no sunlight, and we ain't supposed to see no Batman in the daytime.
Right, that shit was weird as hell. Batman
No.
daylight.
The only time he come out in the daytime is when he with the Justice League. That's the only
Yeah.
time he come out in the daytime. If he's in Gotham, he comes out at night. Like y'all done seen the animation, y'all done seen all his movies. He is not supposed to come out in no daylight, and that's another reason why I don't like the Dark Knight trilogy.
Wait, in the Dark Knight, not the Dark Knight Rises. In the Dark Knight, Batman he came out in the daytime, right?
Yep.
Wait, I'm trying to
I
think.
mean, or when the sun was setting, it was one of them.
I'm trying to
I saw
think.
the sun.
Maybe I think when they blew up that building with Rachel, he was standing on top of the wreckage. Well, that was still technically nighttime. It might have been sunrise, but yeah,
It's something that I'm gonna have to go back and take a picture of,
because
but
I
I'm gonna
know
definitely
for a
post
fact,
it.
I know for a fact that Dark Knight Rises, he was in the daytime because he was fighting
Exactly.
Bane. Yeah, I already know that for
Yeah,
a
because he was
fact.
fighting Bane in the damn daytime.
That shit was like Batman in the daytime. That shit was
One of the most non-compelling fight scenes in the third act I've ever seen.
like I said, man, Bane was a legendary villain, but like his shit got all took it down when all he had to get defeated was Batwoman, damn, Catwoman came through and just shot him down with the bat cycle, like
Bruh. And then you get Talia, Al Ghul come out of nowhere.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my god, this shit is terrible. And
Yeah,
then
she is.
Batman goes and kills himself. This is terrible.
He ain't
This is
died, but
man, whatever. That nigga sacrificed himself, and then they give us Dick Grayson, and then they give us Dick Grayson, and he somehow finds the Batcave. I hate this shit.
somehow finds the Batcave.
I hate that shit. I really do hate that shit, and I don't know, I don't know why people give me shit for not liking it, but all my reasons are valid.
No, I
That's
give
all I
you
have to
shit.
say.
I be giving you shit for the Dark Knight sometime, but like the Dark Knight Rises, like
You
I
give
can
me
understand
shit
why
because you
niggas don't
know
like that.
you give me shit about it because you know that I just hate Batman. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
why you give me shit. You know that I got a point about the movies though, but you just know that you just like Batman. I hate that motherfucker. That nigga's a piece of shit. Him and his whole family, and we gonna get into that different show. But
Damn,
we out of time.
fucking Robin fucking 14. What the fuck he do, nigga? Like,
Man,
goddamn, nigga
man,
14
listen.
and shit.
Man, listen, this man has one thing I can say is that he did good witnessing the death of, Dick Grayson's parents and taking them in, you know what I'm saying, and adopting them. That was some real nigga shit. That was some G shit. You know what I'm saying? But anything outside of that, he wasn't being a good dad. And we know that he wasn't. We all know he wasn't. He done admitted it. He done admitted it a few times. You know what I'm saying? A lot actually, and we got to stop acting like this man is just the hero of America. I don't understand why the fuck this country loves Batman so much. I just don't get it. They love Batman and Captain America like fuck. I don't understand it. They love them in a sense. They
Well,
love them in
see,
a sense.
well,
They'll
see,
market them.
to be fair, Batman, like I said, Batman's a cool character, man. Like you just can't, you can't deny that. As far as Captain America goes, Chris Evans and the movies did wonders for him. Like, cause nobody cared about Captain America until the MCU. So it's like
Right.
that's where Captain America his stock went up after the movies. Made him a better character than Superman, but that's neither here nor there. But
I kind
yeah,
of feel like Captain America was different though, because they wasn't making movies and video games and shit for Captain America, but they was definitely putting him everywhere else. Like motherfuckers was using him to market their businesses, to market campaigns and shit, all types of shit like that. But that's what they was using Captain America for. They wasn't, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't using him. They was even using him as propaganda during the wars and shit. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like it's different for Captain America. But he's not something like Spider-Man. Spider-Man is just somebody that everybody relate to. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Spider-Man is like the ultimate relatable character.
Yeah, everybody can relate to Spider-Man. It doesn't matter who you are. Even if you don't read comic books, anybody that does read comic books, men, women, children, old people, you know what I'm saying, elders I should call them, they have something that they can relate to in the story. No matter where the story is taking them, what characters are in it, there's something that you can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
But man, we running out of time though, man. We been in the bit over an hour, but we gonna do another show, man, on another day that me and my brother is free, man. We always giving some good content when we get together, man. I appreciate you for being on the show, brother.
I appreciate you having me, bro. No problem.
And man,
Anytime.
and everybody, make sure that y'all go to my bros group, man. Film Circle, man. And what's the name of that Ozark group where we be having those discussions about?
Ozark the spoiler discussion. I will be posting something in there soon about the title cards.
Yeah, man, the title cards before every episode, you know what I'm saying? They always gave those title cards, and there's always a meaning behind those title
Yeah,
cards and some reference in the episode, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. It was a great show. Anybody that hasn't watched Ozark, definitely go watch it. You know what I'm saying? We be talking about it still, you know what I
yeah,
mean? But
hell yeah.
yeah, man, I appreciate you for coming, man. We didn't get to cover everything, but we covered what we could, man. And I feel like we gave some good in-depth conversation and discussion, especially for the people, man. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for watching and tuning in. Remember to love yourself and love your family. Don't stress about the shit you can't control. This is the Completist, man. We out. All right, brother, man. I'm gonna hit you up, man.
All right, be safe, bro.
You already know.